Hey guys, welcome back to another video on Ryan and Sam Hill's channel. This video is going to be in particular about how the coronavirus and the stimulus packages and where do we actually think the economy is actually going to go. We're going to talk about a couple of the different proposals that's going on along with the national debt. Now, I'm pretty sure this website is not government operated. I'm not sure which company actually operates the usdebtclock.org. But it's one of the only sites that I know of where you can actually go and see the national debt and kind of what is going on with the economy as far as our national debt, the amount of revenue. You can even look at your state's actual debt compared to your gross domestic product, GDP. So if you look at the national debt, we are almost at $25 trillion in debt. It's currently going up. And if you just watch it for a few seconds, you can see how quickly it's going up. It goes up $100,000 in debt in a matter of seconds. All right, guys, if you're liking the video so far, leave us a like. It really helps the video out. It helps support myself and Sam on this channel, and it helps YouTube actually see that people are enjoying this content where they will share it with more people. And people need to see this because our national debt compared to our revenue actually going down, people need to be aware of where we might be headed in the future. People need to be prepared that our national debt is almost at 25 trillion, along with our overall revenue actually declining due to the economy slowing down. There is going to be a point where we have got to enter a recession. So people need to be aware. So make sure you like it, share it, comment, and don't forget to subscribe and hit that bell notification to stay up to date on everything that we put out on the stimulus packages, upcoming relief bills, what Washington is going to do about it, in addition to the already $2.7 trillion they've already and actually spent on this relief bills. Let's go ahead and dive back into the content. Also, if you look at the U.S. federal tax revenue, which is right here, it is going down. So if you couple that our national debt continues to go up, we've currently spent about $2.7 trillion on the coronavirus pandemic stimulus packages that went out to citizens, and the majority went out to small businesses, along with the last round actually going to hospitals and stuff like that. If you couple our national debt with that the tax revenue is going down, total state revenue is going down, it's right the opposite the way you want your economy going. You want the total federal tax revenue going up, and you want the U.S. national debt going down. And it wasn't in the 1990s that we were almost completely out of debt under Bill Clinton. I'm not sure exactly if we were out of debt. I want to think maybe we were. One of you may know the answer to that, but Bush, under President Bush with the Iraq War, I'm not sure how many trillions were spent over there. It seemed like, if I remember correctly, it went up to about $8 or $9 trillion after President Bush and President Obama took over. And under President Obama, it went from 9 trillion to like 19 trillion. And now under President Trump, we have almost $25 trillion. So you got to ask yourself this: how high can we go up on the national debt before something crashes? Something dramatically happens, because you or I, if we do not pay our electric bill or water bill, those companies will come to our house and turn off our electric and turn off our water. Even though those are necessary items you need to survive, they still come to your house and put a lock on it and turn it off. I've had my water actually turned off here at the house because I got, I think at the particular time it was on automatic withdrawal, but it was on debit card instead of bank account. And I didn't even know. I was still full-time employed, didn't have no problem paying it. They come put a lock and turn my water off. I mean, to me, that is so crazy. If you got a story like that, let me know down there in comments. And also let us know down there in comments what you actually think with the federal government's national debt being so high, almost $25 trillion, where you think the economy is going to go. How is the coronavirus going to affect us this coming fall and winter? And is a majority of the population maybe go back to normal when all the states open now? But there's going to be a percentage of the population that's still going to stay at home, that's still going to socially distance, what percentage is that going to be, and how much of the economy is really going to drop? Now, if you look at the stock market, and we're at like $24,000 on the Dow. Personally, I think it's artificially staying up there. You hear rumors all the time like about the U.S. Treasury keeping it pumped up, printing money, this, that, and other. I don't know. But if you got 22 million people in the U.S. on unemployment within the last several weeks, you got, if we got 150 to 160 million in the workforce, I mean, to me, that's, that's close to like 15% unemployment rate just from the layoffs recently. So to me, to have, the stock market up there when the economy is basically completely shut down, to me, that sounds far-fetched. But the stock market is the stock market. Now, that isn't going to translate to the unemployment numbers. The unemployment numbers is what it is. I mean, they could falsify them and say they're not as high as they actually are, which could be going on, could not be going on, but the numbers are the numbers. And actually, one of the coronavirus proposal bills that's went into effect is supposed to pay people that has been laid off due to this. So those numbers and the amount of money that's being spent in the stimulus packages is going to have to, people are going to actually have to see those numbers. I mean, you can't falsify those numbers. I mean, I guess you could falsify anything when you come down to it. But the unemployment numbers in the last several weeks has been like 22 million. And I'm going to show you those. This is the Wall Street Journal. The April jobs report's likely to show the highest unemployment rate on record. We continue hitting records. We hit records for the stock market. We're going to hit records going down. I mean, the economy was doing really well before this coronavirus actually hit. So it's unfortunate. But there's some things in life we cannot control, and we have to do the best that we can. And we're in one of these situations right now. Do you feel like the U.S. government stepping in and doing $2.7 trillion was beneficial to the economy? Or do you feel like if they done nothing, if the economy would crash? I think if you go back to the 1900s under President Hoover, I think it was around 1917, 1918, or going into the late 1920s at the beginning of the First Depression, President Hoover did not believe in government interference. He didn't believe boosting the economy and stuff like that. I think that exaggerated the position that the Great Depression put the United States in for the government not doing anything. But currently as it stands, if we're at $2.7 trillion already put towards the economy, and as you've seen the numbers, currently almost at $25 trillion in debt with the U.S. federal tax revenue and total state revenue going down, which is completely the opposite of what you want to happen in a good economy. Where do you think you have to draw the line at? There's several different proposals still going to come out. I think there's 3 or 4 different proposals right now, several with the Democratic Party. I was going to show you these U.S. Bureau of Labor statistics. This is the unemployment rate, percent of rate. So March, February, it got down to 3.5%. Of unemployment rate, which may have been tied for the lowest of all time. In March, it went up to 4.4. April, I'm not sure what number they're going to show here, but to me, if you got 22 million unemployed, I don't know how they take that as layoffs or furloughs if they're actually in the unemployment category or because they're recently unemployed, or do they not count their numbers for a certain amount of time? I do not know, but at 22 million people that's been furloughed or laid off since this coronavirus pandemic has hit America, that number in my mind is probably like closer to 15%. So I'm not sure what the U.S., how they do their percentages, but the last that I looked, we have about 160 million in the workforce. And if you got 22 million of those furloughed or laid off, it's going to be, I haven't done the numbers, but somewhere around 15% unemployment rate. So I'm not sure what they're going to do on that. On this channel, we actually talk about affiliate marketing, how you can actually make money from home. And also with this pandemic going around, we have actually transitioned a little bit into how the economy is feeling and everything. That most people, a lot of people are wondering about their stimulus checks. We've had questions about that. And so we're going to combine with the affiliate marketing, make money from home niche, along with how the economy is doing with the stimulus packages and those types of things, because this pandemic is very unusual is probably not the word for it, but uncharacteristic is something that we are not used to. You know, whenever you go back and you look at the Spanish flu and those types of things, we think 2020 that nothing like this is going to happen, but it did, and we were definitely unprepared for it. And it's the first time. I just recently turned 39 years old, and it's the first time that I can remember ever being on lockdown. I think the SARS and MERS previously, nothing like that happened. I don't even remember it. I live in a rural town in South Tennessee where we're not in really populated areas, so generally stuff like this doesn't affect us as much. It is something that happened to our country and something we have to adapt to. And I think it's going to be something that we have to adapt to for years to come, especially when it comes this fall and winter. If this virus does stay around like the flu and doesn't disappear completely, because the fatality rate of this is so much higher than the flu, we're going to have to take precautions to protect the elderly. I mean, your families, grandparents, grandmothers, all this stuff, at least until we get a vaccine for the top 4. I said the last time I saw there was a study that showed 33 different strains of the COVID-19. So if there is that many strains, there is some that's very severe that affects you more so than the strains at the bottom. So they need to get vaccines for like the top portion, top 4 or 5 different, the severity, the ones that cause the most fatalities. We need vaccines for those to protect our elderly. And, you know, there's been people of all ages. You know, if you have underlying conditions, heart, asthma, COPD, any of those kinds of issues, even if you currently smoke and any part of your lungs are already compromised, it's going to affect you differently than somebody who has a healthy set of lungs, because the virus multiplies inside your lungs through the cells. And not to get into a long story about that, but it affects every age group, but it more affects the people above 60 years of age. So we have to protect our families and our grandmothers and grandfathers and everybody in that age category. So it's going to be something that's going to take a lot of an adjustment on everybody's part, and everybody needs to take this seriously coming into the fall and winter. So my hope is that it disappears. It don't return in the fall. But if we cannot completely rid this thing during the summer, then the chances of that happening is very slim. Because as soon as it starts to get colder, it'll pick back up just whenever the flu season takes off, and it probably will never disappear again. So, all right, guys, that's going to be it for the video. Let us know what you think about our national debt, our revenues going down, what Washington has done about it this far, and what do you think we need to do about it going into the future? And also, how severe do you think the fall and winter is going to be with this virus? Let us know all these things down in the comments. Sam and I look forward to interacting with you in the comments. And we will see you guys on the next video. Make it epic, and we'll see you next time.